Discussion?
Yeah, I want to go back a couple months ago when we held the interviews and that. One of the people from the audience asked all of us, I think there were the three of us, why we chose to be on the school board. And contrary to some comments made by people in the public, you never have read my platform, you have never read my agenda, and I would challenge any of you to put that before me. And yet, accusations have come from the public that we have broken our promises on the platform. And I want to just say I haven't broken one promise. And I would challenge any of you to bring one promise from one platform that I made and bring it to my personal attention. And if I honestly did that, I'll apologize. But to make blanket statements and putting everybody in one box is just not correct. And it's very improper for you to do. We are all individuals on this board. And we do not have the same philosophies. We don't have the same background. And I know sometimes the public challenge some people, you criticize their faith belief or faith system. And I don't even think you really know what that faith belief is, if they have one. And I think that's wrong, again, to challenge people. What I have seen, and Rob, this kind of goes on what you're talking about, but parents have brought before the board and before our superintendent about children who are bullies. As I have sat and observed and listened, I want to challenge all of us. If every student in the school sat in here and listened to how adults have talked, acted, the verbiage they have used, would they know the difference between what a civil conversation is and what a bully is?
Well, Richard, real quick.
Wait a minute, Rob. This is my time. I'm talking. And so I just challenge us as a community to be careful when you are addressing people or making comments. Please make sure your facts are right. Please make sure what you're saying lines up with the way you want your children to talk to other people. There is a principle there. We tell our kids what to do, but we fail as adults sometimes to act and speak in a manner that would be appropriate for them to follow. When I was asked that question, I said this: two reasons why I ran on the board. Number one, I was very concerned that over 19 years in our school district, we've had a continual decline in enrollment. At this present time, we have almost 1,000 kids less than what we did 19 years ago. Over those 19 years, we have dropped approximately 2%, plus or minus, every year except for 2 years. Now, that's an alarming fact to me. That goes back 1 year after we built this center. We started in a continual decline. During that time also, the other reason I ran is because the question was, why can we not pass a millage? And I have not heard for 3 years. I've attended these meetings even before I was on the board. I I have not heard us as a community to address those two factors. And as we may get into heated discussions about other things, meanwhile, we continue to see a decline. Now, as a businessman, if I saw my company in a 19-year slump, that's going to raise a lot of concerns. Big concerns. When I live in a state that is 27th out of 50th in the quality of education, I have a big concern. And when we talk about putting kids first, education is the primary focus. But at the same time, we have to find a way to sustain our infrastructure and find a way to keep students within the school system. That's a discussion that we need to be all talking about. And we've got to focus on the primary things. And so, as we move forward, this year, I think we really seriously better focus in and see why are we in a continual decline of 19 years. It's not a one-year situation. It's not one problem situation. And so we need to discuss that. And in spite that the state of Michigan is 27 out of 50 in the union, how can we increase our quality of education? Those are the two factors that we seriously need to look at. And we need to come together on. We have great teachers, we have great administrators to be able to sit down, and that's where we need to sit down and hash it out and come up with a plan. You want us to listen. I want to hear from the community why. There again, you're jumping to conclusions. Why don't we ask those who do not come to this school why? Why don't we ask those who have discontinued why? And then come back. People, it's a multitude of situations. This is what I'm saying, that we need to look at that and sit down and discuss it and come up with a plan.
Have you, in your time here, asked any of those questions and gotten that information or done research with our educators and our administrators who have been here? They will probably give you a pretty good perspective of what has been going on the last 20 years.
Sure.
Have you?
Okay, well, what I'm stating
I'm asking a question.
My concern is when I listen to people in the public of why, because we are here to serve them. If they don't want to come, we need to know why they don't want to come. If teachers and administrators want to give us, if they've heard the reason why, then great. Then that needs to come to us. That needs to come to the board. And that's what I'm just saying. We need to move forward.
Well, I will say this. I will say this, that threatening to remove free health care for nearly 700 students does not necessarily endear everyone to that you are making the best decisions for students in this district. That comes across more as a threat. That comes across more as a threat than helping. You do realize I have been sitting on this board since January 2021. So I've been present at these meetings and have seen your platform in action firsthand. And maybe your platform just isn't the appropriate platform for a public school.
I would like to make it a reminder that past presidents were also having issues that I have proof of. So we walked into issues that needed to be revised.
What issues? Where?
Issues with the teen health center. okay? There was already issues that I walked into with past presidents
I would
saying
love
it.
to see this documentation.
I will show you again,
Okay.
because I think they brought that.
Well,
It should be actually.
on that note, I don't know, speaking of a business person, is it best business practice when you have a partnership that does give you and your kind of bottom line a huge benefit? Is it best practices to bully and threaten into, a forced removal unless you do exactly what I say? Perception matters, conversations matter, you're absolutely right.
And are you saying that I bullied someone into that?
I'm saying the very fact that you would unannounced terminate a
It's simply
contract.
saying there are more than one party. The one party that shows up isn't listening to the other party that's not speaking, but is clearly saying.
Then that other
issues
party
they
should
have.
actually be more
You're
upfront and
saying that
share.
let's ignore the
All right,
other
guys.
side.
All right.
And only one side matters. There's two others.
All right, we're not here to argue. Is there any other discussion that we need to have? All right. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make that motion.
Is there a second?
Support.
All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Meeting adjourned.